Now, ever since Clue made that video about accountability, it hasn't really worked out like that. He's refused to take accountability in a lot of situations. But what he does instead is justify it. Should be called justified at this point, because what he does is makes a point of something, and then when somebody turns or says something to him, he then tries to justify it like what he was saying was right in the first place, instead of just taking accountability for what he said and maybe how it might have looked towards that person. But naturally, this has been his IP at the moment, because he's starting to realize that no one really gives a monkeys about his opinion about music, because he has no accolades, nothing to really show that he made any sort of growth or done anything great in music, so nobody cares about this. Where someone like Tankz, who I do not like, so don't even think this is going to be a Tankz like video, he's got like 100 million streams or something like that, whereas Clue has probably got nothing next to that. Now, you guys can make up what you want about who's better or whatever, but I don't like any of them. I don't think any of them are good rappers, but that's just my opinion. But needless to say, we can say that Clue must have been mentally scarred from Bouncer, because the whole situation didn't really turn out the way he wanted it to, especially with Bouncer trademarking his little slogans and stuff like that, which Bouncer eventually gave back. But you know, this hasn't stopped Clue from having Bouncer stuck in his head. He literally lives rent free in there. So as you would expect, Clue just couldn't help himself again, but mentioned Bouncer in one of his videos. Watch this.
I see Bouncer say something, and I must say, Bouncer, I need to disagree with you, buddy. I see you say something about, you know, if you go out or something and a girl's drunk, take her home. My brother, we're grown folks, right? If I take a lovely woman out for a meal and she's had too much wine, she was running up all sorts of bills at my expense, yeah? And now we're coming to the closure of the evening and she wants to come back to mine for all sorts of things. She's coming back to mine for all sorts of things. What are we doing here? Drop her home for what? Bad man, I just spent £1. All sorts of quids got distributed that evening, and you want me to drop her home? I need my pleasure. Now, I'm not saying she has to give me the pleasure for the quids. I'm saying if she's not intoxicated to the point where she don't know where we are, of course, take her home, bad man. Miss, you got home safe? Call me tomorrow, let me know you're fine. Sweet. But if she's in the know, she's drunk, but I'm drunk too. What does that mean? She for drop me home and say good night.
Right, I thought I'd play the whole context of this conversation or this podcast, because I don't want people to think, oh, you're just trying to make it a way and make a narrative. But what I'm saying to you is that this statement just doesn't make any sense. And Clue is basically trying to say, if she's not too drunk, if she's not falling down the stairs, so if a girl's really drunk but she can manage to walk and stuff like that, Clue is willing to take her home. This is the sort of nonsense that comes out of his mouth and makes you know that he's really clueless in a lot of the statements that he wants to make. So because he spent £1,000, he believes that if this girl isn't falling down the stairs and she's still able to walk, but she's really drunk, that you should take her home. That's what he believes. This is this guy's idea. And the funniest situation is that he could say, oh, well, I don't believe this, but then you've got to listen to this song that he made.
If I help her, she gotta f me for it. If she can't afford it, she gotta f me for it. She wanna trip overseas, she gotta f me for it. She wanna smoke free weed, she gotta f me for it. She wanna go out to eat, she gotta f me for it. She wants new shoes on her feet, she gotta f me for it.
Two things he needs to take accountability for in that situation: such bad music and talking about women in this sort of way. It's like he's saying, if you even go on a meal with him, he has already, before. It's just one of those situations. If he's buying you shoes, he's already done it before. So it's understandable that Clue would want to take you out and expect you to do something for it. It's just one of those things. And I'm not talking about he's done the actual action before. He's obviously inserted himself into you before he's done any of these things for you. And as I've said to you guys already, no one cares about Clue's insight in music, but what Clue has learned is that everybody cares about him making drama, calling a lot of people out. First it started with Bouncer, and now this week it's Tankz. Listen to this. And this is crazy because it's only now that Clue has realized that he's a content creator. I don't know what this foolishness is. Watch this.
The penny dropped. The penny dropped. It's official. I'm a content creator. And being a content creator comes with all sorts of disrespect, all sorts of challenges, all sorts of name calling, all sorts of foul play. But It's a part of the job.
So he's trying to tell us that the penny has now dropped that he's a content creator, even though he has been a content creator for quite some weeks. He's been trying to make content, but nobody cares about his actual content. All they care about is him calling out people, which is something over the past weeks, which he has just done numerous times. And he just can't help himself but call out people because, like I said, no one cares about what he says about music and stuff like that, or businesses. Football thing could work out for him, but I haven't seen any numbers rise from that yet, which has led to him deciding to target Tankz. Watch this.
I see Tankz say, when he was talking about Unknown T's chain, would he say it to Unknown T's face? He basically said Unknown T was crying over his chain being taken. Remember, it got seized one time. Tankz replied, I wouldn't say it to his face. It's over, buddy. Tankz then went on to say, if I saw Unknown T and he was to mention it to me, I would probably tell him that was wrong of me to say that. It's over, buddy. So I just want to know what we doing here. Now, yes, I get it. I don't expect content creators to be some sort of gangsters. But bro, just in life in general, if you're gonna talk about somebody, bro, and you know they are not going to like what you say on them, what do you expect them to do if they see you, bro?
So my problem with Clue's statements right here is the following. You're talking about content creation. I get that, but you're saying they're content creators. They're not gangsters. They're not street people. They just create content to talk about their individual people or the people who relate to their target audience. And not everyone's going to say things that the person that they're talking about is going to like. Keep it clear. That's not the whole point of them making their content. Whatever they decide to do, whether I believe it's right or wrong, they're going to make it in a way which they feel will benefit their audience or create more views, which is both something that Clue, Bouncer and Tankz like to do. Even myself, I do it sometimes. But the whole idea of these people seeing each other and having something to do or something going on is quite silly, because if you think about it, that means that ITV should do the same thing. You know, their presenters should just turn around and be like, well, that person's not going to like what I say when they see me, so, you know, I'm not going to talk about them. There would be no news. Come on, let's just have a clue. Let's just have a good idea about what we're talking about before we start speaking about it. It's just stupid. But sometimes I do think that Clue just speaks about stuff for the sake of it, just to increase his views and act like this isn't the case when we all know that's what he's trying to do. But it's okay, just do that, but don't try to act like you're not. Which is why you've brought up this video from 3 months ago or 4 months ago now, because you have nothing better to talk about. But let's watch the start of this video, because Tankz wasn't really, he was kind of being a bit messy with the start of it.
So this UK drill rapper had his £250,000 chain seized at Gatwick Airport, and it could be months before he gets it back, even years potentially, depending on which law they seized it under. In this video, we're going to take a look at the video of his chain being seized and him not being very happy about it. We're going to take a look at which law the Gatwick police used to be able to seize his chain, because they believe it to be an offensive weapon. And by the way, this is the same UK rapper who sat down and did an interview with my stalker. I believe he's the one who dimed you out, mate. Can't help but think if you didn't do that interview, Unknown T, this would not be happening right now. So this article was posted on the Shade Bar, and before people get onto me and say, how are you reading an article off of the Shade Bar? Well, Google recognizes the Shade Bar as an official news source. So big ups to the Shade Bar. That's some big moves there.
So what you need to understand is the whole start of this video, because at the end of the day, Tankz has tried to rebuttal what Clue is saying. And even if Clue is right, which he kind of is, that Tankz did say this stuff, I'm not sure that Unknown T would be caring about the fact that Tankz said that he was crying. It's just a bit pathetic that content creators really think they can hurt people in that way. Let's keep it 100. Like, my chain's worth 250k. I have a right to cry about that. Let's not act like we're all hard and all this stuff. I'll be pretty annoyed the police just seize my chain regardless of what circumstance it might be under. But you can see how condescending he is in this whole situation, because he believes Unknown T done this whole interview with his supposed stalker, that was the guy who caught Tankz out for doing fraud, might have been the alleged person to stitch up Unknown T. This is just crazy conspiracy stuff. While on top of that, trying to claim that the Shade Bar is an official news source, knowing full well that they like to spread fake narratives. Now, the specific part that Clue is moaning about is this clip right here.
That is a concealed weapon.
Oh my God,
that is a concealed weapon. That's a concealed weapon. We don't know if that's a real, like, if it's a real blade or if it's just like, you know, a for show blade. That can change it. But from what I see here, how can you expect to be surprised that you're not being let on an airplane with that, or that you're catching some heat walking around with that, bro. That's like having a flick knife, bro. And it was at this point in the video I decided to do more checks because I saw this. I'm like, hold on, the back of the chain has this on it. It looks like something flicks down. Let me go and do some more research into the chain. And there we go. You can see it right here. It's literally, you're flexing it on the gram. Now, do I think jewelers would be stupid enough to put their stamp on a flick knife? Literally, it's a flick knife with diamonds on it. I don't know, probably not, because the community gives these guys a lot of money, so hopefully not. But in the video, you're there crying, bro, like, oh man, what are they talking about? Offensive weapon, man. Oh, it's my chain. It's like, brother, it's like, there are laws, bro. You can't bring over 100 milliliters on the airplane with you. And you think you can get away with bringing that on there?
And the thing is, with what Tankz is saying here, it's just all right. It's completely right. He might have been crying. He might have been upset about the fact that his chain got taken. I don't understand why this is a problem, but we don't like Tankz in general. So I kind of understand where Clue's coming from, but he's calling him out over something so minute, it doesn't even make sense. Now, apparently Tankz was clearly aware of this statement and remembered this whole ordeal or what he had said, and it really stuck in his mind. Like, it's been playing on his mind. It's been stuck in his head for quite a while, and now he's finally addressing it because Clue has called him out on it, and it's something that he talked about in his latest episode. Watch this.
And this is my initial shock. You know what I mean? And I'm somebody, listen, I'm very considerate to how what I say online can make other people feel, you know, because I live in London, you know what I mean? I fuck with Unknown T's music. Why would I want to start a problem with the guy? You know what I mean? At this point, I was just rushing, trying to get this video out and go home and express myself here. That's what I was trying to do. And even like 10 minutes after that, my brethren even called me up and said, yo, you were a little bit like, you shouldn't have said the crime thing in that Unknown T vid. And then I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have said it, bro, you know, but video's out there, you know, is what it is, you know, the video's out there. If I run into him, I'll just, you know, at the time, I'm like, if I ever run into Unknown T and I'll show him it's not really that. Because even a couple of days after this, this was 5 months ago, bro. A couple of days after that, there was some news about Unknown T because some crazy allegations were put on Unknown T's name, some crazy allegations. And I even DM'd him before I posted my video on that, which was very fair, by the way. I don't know if he's seen the DM on Instagram. I don't know if he was pissed off with what I said at the time, but I sent him a message saying, bro, I know you've got your chain got seized by the police. I know this news coming out, there's no evidence, like, this will blow over, bro, like, in a few weeks, like, people aren't even going to remember this, like, just focus on the music. I sent him a message like that. Don't know if he's seen it at the time, but after that, I went on to Winners Talking podcast after that, and on Winners Talking podcast, they brought that up. They said, the crying thing, you know, and that was like second time that's been brought up, you know, and I was like, yeah, you know, I shouldn't have said that. You know, I take accountability.
His initial shock to what? That a rapper's pendant's been taken. This is what I mean. He just chats a load of foolishness. Now, Tankz tries to use this excuse that he was rushing and wasn't really aware of what he was saying at the time, but that's actually false, because you can tell when he started the whole video, he actually made mention to the reporter who had caught him out about his fraud. So you mean to tell me he remembered to mention the news reporter or the reporter who got him caught out in the first place, forgot that, actually said at the start that the reason that he got bagged with this chain at the airport was because of the news reporter, but then fails to remember that, oh yeah, I put this crime bit in there, that shouldn't have been in there. That's just total nonsense. Come on, like, let's be serious. And he says he took accountability for saying about the crime thing, but doesn't take accountability for starting the video the way he did. I don't know, this is just crazy stuff. And then he tries to say that he said it could have been plastic or something like that, which isn't true. He was trying to say he was there screaming it was an offensive weapon. It was an offensive weapon.
That is a concealed weapon.
Oh my
That is a concealed weapon.
boy.
That's a concealed weapon. We don't know if that's a real, like, if it's a real blade or if it's just like, you know, a for show blade.
There was not one part of that video where he said the blade was plastic at any point. And what Tankz was probably going to do later on is try to use his autism as an excuse, which is something that he always constantly does when he is put in these sorts of situations. Now, we all know what went on after this video was released. Clue went into his kitchen, made a tea, went to his camera and started to be a chatty patty again, because Clue just can't help himself. Once somebody mentions his name, he sees it as an outright war. He's happy to go back and forth, and this is just to get his viewership up, which is working, but this has been a complete remodeling of what his channel was meant to be in the first place. But watch this.
Content creators. Bro, I'm not on no divide and conquer thing. I was not here first. Salute those that was before me. Salute people that will follow. Yeah? I believe working together is smarter. It'll be better for our scene. It's not the rap game, bro. I'm not here on the ignorant thing. I'm the best, look at me, don't go over. No, bro, that's not what I'm on. I'm not a rapper. I'm a content creator. working together is best for everybody. Because even those that may have low numbers or low subscribers, if you link with people that's got a lot of subscribers and a lot of numbers, it can only grow your platform. So I want to see everybody win. That's cool, I must add. Because most of you are idiots. Yeah? But that doesn't mean we can't do business. You know what I mean? You can be an idiot, but you're still cool though. Do you know what I'm saying? Funny how that works, isn't it? So yeah, podcasters, that's separate. They got their lane, you know, interviews. They do what they do, and shout out all of them. You know what I'm saying? Salute. I'm not here on a hating thing, man. I'm really not. And if I was, I would say it. It would probably do more numbers.
Now, this is what I mean about Clue and his cluelessness. Every video where he's tried to get onto someone or talk about accountability or tried to call somebody out has got the most views. But anytime he speaks about his own nonsense, which nobody cares about, he gets 0 views. So he's right. He's completely right that the fact that if he hates, which he likes to do a lot of the time, he will get more views because this is something that has been encouraging him to get more views. This is just crazy that he's even talking like this. And he talks about that he's not on no divide and conquer sort of nonsense. But ever since he's come, all he's tried to do is to divide. That's what he's done. I'm not sure about the whole conquering part, but all I know is that he's come, tried to create divisions. He's created divisions in his own area because of his nonsense and trying to be internet ready. Like the guy created a whole drama with Bouncer to get more views for his music video. This is just crazy stuff. And then proceeds to actually say that he does not want to be seen as a hating older when every single person that he's ever had something bad to say about has been younger than him. It's just crazy. But anyway, guys, like, share, subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.